Welcome to Food.
Hello guys, welcome to my channel. On today's video I'll be teaching one of the best red velvet recipe, how to make your red velvet cake. This recipe is so moist and so delicious, so red, like you're definitely going to like this recipe. If you're new on this channel, you know what to do. Give your girl a thumbs up and subscribe. Click on the subscribe button and subscribe for your girl. Like, share, and always ask questions if you have any. Turn on your post notifications so you can be notified anytime I post a new video. Anytime I put on a new video, you will be notified. So I don't want to waste too much of our time. Yes, so our returning subscriber, I love you so much. Thank you so much for always motivating me. Thank you for coming back, and thank you for trusting what we do here. Before we go into the video, I have prepared my buttermilk before now, so always prepare buttermilk so it can solidify, it can form up to buttermilk. And if you don't know how to make your buttermilk, check one of my short video on this channel. You see how I made the buttermilk. It's so simple, under 1 minute you're done, and that's it. So you leave it, you prepare it before you start any other thing so it can form to your buttermilk. So let me just introduce you quickly to the recipe. Here I have 2.5 cups of flour sieved. I have 1.5 cup of sugar here. This is my soda, baking soda. This is my baking powder. I'm going to use this as my preservative. These are my flavors. I have two kinds of flavors here. I have my milk zest and my strawberry cheese flavor. I have 3 eggs. I have 3/4 cups of vegetable oil. I have cocoa powder, and I have my red food color for the red velvet cake. You know, you're going to add a color to give it a red velvet color. So let's get started. And I have my 1 cup of buttermilk. So in here I've sieved my flour. I sieved it 3 times, and I'm going to add in my baking soda and baking powder. For my baking soda, I'm going to use 1.5 teaspoon, and for my baking powder, I'm going to use the same 1.5 teaspoon. So just watch me as I do this. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Then I have 1.5 cup of sugar. I'm going to pour everything into the same flour, and I'm just going to give this a mix. So this bowl is for my wet ingredients, and for my wet ingredients I have my eggs, I have my buttermilk, and my oil. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to pour in my okay, let me quickly show you guys something about this buttermilk. If you can see, can you see it? So this is how you know that your buttermilk is ready, and the taste is going to be sour. You can see this. So I'm adding my 1 cup of buttermilk. My 3/4 cup of vegetable oil. Then I'll give this a quick whisk. So into this now, I'm going to add in my food color. I'll add 1 tablespoon of this food color. So I'm going to use my 1 teaspoon measurement. So this is my 1 teaspoon measurement. So I have 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon. So the reason why I use my teaspoon is so I can dip it into the bottle. You know, my tablespoon is too wide, it's not going to go into it. Then I'm going to whisk again. Just going to move this aside, then prepare the eggs. So I have 3 eggs. If you're using large eggs, you can just use 2. My eggs are so small. My eggs are so small, so small. That's why I'm using 3. But the recipe requires 2 large eggs. But if you have small eggs like mine, just use 3. This egg breaking thing is not my thing. So I'm going to whisk this just a little. Now what we have next is our flavors. I have 2 different kinds of flavors. I need 2 teaspoons, so I'm just going to divide them, a teaspoon each. So I am using strawberry. 1. This thing. I will add in our dry ingredients into the wet. Then we're just going to give it a careful stir. Don't overstress your batter. So what we have left is hot water. We're going to add hot water to this, and that is all. So if you find this helpful, please, you know what to do. Give us a thumbs up, share, drop any questions if you have any. Drop your questions if you have any questions for me, and I will definitely answer every of your questions. Please don't forget to add water to this. Don't leave your butter like this. So what's going into this is a cup of hot water. So I'm going to bring my pan. I'm using size 7 pan, and this solution is going to give me 2 size 7 pans. I want to make a 3 layers cake. I'm going to drop the cake at the end of the video. So I've brought in my pan, greased. I did the cheapest method of greasing your pan: butter, and you dust with your flour. Then my hot water is ready. I'm just going to pour it in to the batter. So that is that about this. Now I'm going to add my preservative. So let me quickly give you some tips to have a long-lasting cake. Number one is your preservative, but if you don't want to add your preservative, make sure your cakes are refrigerated. You can tell your clients when you deliver cakes to them, tell them to refrigerate, tell them to put it in their fridge so that they can at least have it for a longer period. You get, so tell them to put it in a fridge so that they can enjoy for a longer period. Add preservative even still, and always make sure you include vinegar, even if you're not going to include buttermilk. Maybe you don't want milk in your recipe, but you can't skip milk in this particular red velvet recipe. You need to add milk. Chocolates, red velvet, you need milk. Some vanilla cakes, you can always skip milk in some vanilla cakes. It is not compulsory. It is not as necessary compared to red velvet and chocolate. I said the person requires it, and person told you to not to include milk in the cake. I mean, some people are allergic to it. Except that you can't skip milk in your chocolate and red velvet recipe. So always make sure you add your white vinegar to your recipe. It helps to build the shelf life of your cake, to makes it last longer. And your preservative, your preservative, putting it in the fridge, and as well adding vinegar to it. If you milk makes I was told there's a time I noticed that if you milk makes your cake go bad faster. So in the absence of milk, make sure you always add your vinegar. Yes, milk will make it go bad faster. Let me just tell you this truth now. So make sure they put it in the fridge. So that is that. I'm going to add my preservative. I'm using 2 teaspoons for this. And again, too much of this will dry your cakes. Let me tell you that too. So don't say Food said we should add alcohol, add dry gin to your cakes. It's going to preserve it, and you just pour in 1 sachet of it into your batter. I'm sorry sis, you're going to have a very dry cake. So please always follow the recipe. If you want your cake to be moist always, if you want to always have a moist cake, follow the recipe. If you now follow the recipe and you think, okay, you want to adjust some things, you don't like the sugar is too much or the sugar is too low, let me add more sugar or let me reduce the sugar, that is left to you. But first, try what that recipe will give you before you start twisting around. You get, there are some things that don't go alongside. So if you just go and do your own, you might end up having a different outcome. So if they say cake flour, please use cake flour. If the recipe requires all-purpose flour, please use all-purpose flour. If it requires baking powder, baking soda, or baking powder itself, don't substitute for any. So that's just one of the advice I'll give you guys today. Always follow the recipe. Follow the recipe. It's very important. So that's all about this cake. You see that it is a very simple step. There's nothing serious about it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put everything together. So I don't need any of this. I'll return this back to where they belong so I can focus on what I need. Put on my scale, put it on 0. I always filter my cakes because at times you might think you've done everything perfectly until when you filter, you see some particles and all of that. So I'm going to, this is the second pan. This is the second pan. I'm going to pour it in. I'm going to use 600. I used 500 for that. So let me see if I can achieve 600. Let's see. Let me put it in. This should give me 600. So if you've watched this video up to this moment, thank you so much. Do not forget to like and share our video, and if you're new here, please subscribe to this channel. This motivates us and keeps us going. Give us a thumbs up if you've learned something on this channel today. Please give me a thumbs up. Share a video. If you have any questions for me concerning this recipe, concerning this video, the tutorial, please drop it on the comment section and I will definitely answer all your questions. Don't forget all the advice or the tips I gave to you. Please make sure you adhere to it and follow them. Always remember to follow the recipe. It is very important to help your baking. It will help you improve in your baking. And thank you so much for watching. I'm going to draw a picture of the cake after it is ready so you guys can see. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.